Well, hello, Facebook friends and YouTube friends. This is one of our preparation videos for our hopefully going live starting Monday, January 23rd, just 10 minutes at a time, because I think that's like the perfect amount of time. And Nixie the cat thinks so too. What I want to do today is some of my Facebook friends have read this. It's a little piece I did for Toastmasters a few years ago, and as such, it's a personal story, but it's also something that incredibly personal and yet incredibly universal. And that's kind of the happy intersection that I'm trying to land on in this series of videos. So welcome to my channel, and hit the subscribe and the like and all the normal things. I'm going to share my screen with you so you guys can read along with me on this one. It's a performed speech. I'm rusty with it, so I'm not going to try to perform it as much as I'm going to try to read it. And hopefully you guys can see this, and it's coming through on the video. It is one called Jemma Mae Came, and I did this quite a few years ago. I want to say like 5-6 years ago, during this time of year, because we're getting ready for like Toastmasters. I'm no longer a Toastmaster, but this is usually when they start their the process of selecting speeches for the speech contest, and that's what this was for. This was like my entry in the local Toastmasters club at that time, just to do that and to give us all a little bit of experience and taking a stab at it. Just, taking a stab at things, kind of like what I'm doing here is taking a stab at things. But even though it's imperfect, there should be enough nuggets that it's worthwhile. And that's kind of what we're shooting for here. I'm going to, just because this is the old days and because this was a timed speech at one point, I'm going to set this for 8 minutes and see how we do. Jemma Mae came a-calling. My eyes sting from a mix of sweat, sunlight, and gravel dust, but I can still make out that old car parked in the turnoff to Graham's place. Company, most likely kinfolk. Relations were always dropping by to talk to Graham's. They'd drive up from Kentucky, Arkansas, and Missouri, not just in-state Illinois. Few had electricity, fewer had phones. They came because Graham's was a wise woman, like her sister Blanche and their mother Alice before them. I slowed my run to a trot. I corralled my wind-whipped hair behind each ear, pray that my face isn't streaked with dirt, hope that Graham's has a pitcher of sweet tea at the ready. And that's when I see her. A cloud of pink flounce comes into focus, but frayed at the hem and strained at the seams, hand-me-downs, missing the lace-lined anklets and the patent leathers. My trot slows to a crabby scuttle. Warily approach. A pair grown-ups flank a girl of my age. She's translucent, a glassine envelope. Though her skin and raw fishy flesh, through her skin and raw fishy flesh, I see a network of blue veins pulsing. Her palest of blue eyes are rimmed not with lashes, but something akin to chicken plucking down. Not enough fluff on her head to affix a barrette. She turns to me, her eyes meet mine. I scream. My eyes bulge in terror. Had some fool dumped a bucket of pig's innards fresh from the slaughter over her head, still throbbing with the last beat of the creature's heart? A strawberry mark circles one eye and reaches down to her throat of her fragile collarbone. It throbs with a terror both separate and fused with our own in that moment. Graham's holds me up by the scruff in half a heartbeat. She whispered, What a heart-wrenching pity it is for poor Jemma Mae to travel all this way to play with her beautiful cousin, to be treated so poorly. Oh, she's used to it, but she needn't be used to it from us. Now go on, play with her. Play with her like you'd want to be played with. Look at her as if she's as pretty on the outside as she is on the inside. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. Do you have a childhood memory that has seared itself into your very soul? They say that each cell of our body has been replaced every 7 years, but I swear each and every nuclei of my body has an imprint of that incident as if it happened yesterday. That time over 50 years ago when Jemma Mae came a-calling. About 20 years ago, the lesson of that day came in handy. I found myself working for a country healthcare district in a catch-all job position. All the things that weren't anyone else's responsibility magically became mine. Like the Friday night spent assessing patients sent home from a nearby cancer center so they could shave off weekend costs and shunt them over to us. Our office's LPNs were already on assignment, so my boss drove me over to check out the new release. She had stage 4 breast cancer and was suffering from 3rd-degree radiation burns. Funny how antiseptic that all sounds on paper. The reality was that the woman was microwaved, so her entire torso was cooked from the inside out. As the burn bubbled outward, her flesh turned deathly gray and sloughed off much the way a frozen block of hamburger gives up its outer layers when placed in a hot griddle. Jemma Mae came back a-calling. These folks were country couple, just like the ones that would seek out my Grams. I heard an echo of my Grams whisper to me, look at her as if she's as beautiful on the outside as she is on the inside. I squatted before her for more than an hour each visit, unbinding her dressing, debridling her torso, medicating her wound, and bandaging her up again. All of that time I worked with her, she wore an expression that reminded me so much of my Grams. And her husband rubbed her shoulders and lovingly told stories about the girl he fell in love with 40 years earlier, the girl that had stolen his heart and could never lose it. His pretty little redhead, never mind that the years had turned her gray and the radiation had made her bald. She was as pretty to him on the outside as she has been on the inside to him and to me. I packed my bags, I climbed in my car, clutched the steering wheel until I stopped shaking. I cry. I cry for her pain. I cry for his loss. I cry for all of us who will never know the depth of that love. I cry for Jemma Mae and the understanding that she brought me the day she came a-calling. And the picture there, that is me. That would be me about the day. That's about how I looked like the day Jemma Mae came a-calling. It's rusty. I'm not pretending to be the most expert, and it's certainly not worthy of performance for any Toastmasters speech contest now. It's a long time ago that I wrote that. But as I'm sorting through a lot of old memories, I realize, as William Faulkner says, the past isn't dead, it's not even past. We bring those past experiences into how we see our days today, just like Jemma Mae informed my experiences with that woman who was our hospice patient with stage 4 breast cancer, and who I am today. And what I'd like to do is bring these sort of images, maybe, some happy, some sad. Most life is kind of a mix of all of the above, but hopefully something meaningful, particular to me, but universal. And I'm doing this in a way so that I can share my experiences, but also in a way so you guys can have a platform to share yours in the comments below. Has something touched you in the way that Jemma Mae touched me? Those are true stories, by the way. I can't remember Jemma Mae's real name, but it's a fitting name. Jemma Mae is a good stand-in. And if I were to tell a story like that about one of my relatives, I would be changing their names, even if I could remember their names. That was a long, long time ago. So, well, thank you so much for spending some time with me. Let's see how long that was. That was not quite 8 minutes long. And so we can cover a lot of ground in 10 minutes. And I think 10 minutes, that's just about perfect. Grab a cup of tea, have a little bit of coffee or tea or whatever, and sit down with me for 10 minutes every day, Monday through Friday. And we'll look at, yep, that was my time to stop. Hope to see you Monday, the 23rd. Take 10 at 10 with us. Thank you.